Hey there, welcome to the audio commentary for the 100% run of Dante Must Die mode for Devil May Cry. I am Stern, player of the run. For 100% here, we're going with getting all S ranks in every mission or better, collecting all the blue orb fragments, purchasing every possible upgrade, and completing all 12 secret missions. This kind of got started, at least for me, back in winter 2004 when a bunch of GameFAQs members on the Devil May Cry board and myself were wondering if it was possible to get a special bonus in Mission 1 in DMD mode with a fresh Dante. Special bonus is a 2,000 orb bonus you get for meeting the time, orb, and damage requirements for each mission. Time and orb requirements vary from mission to mission, but damage is just about always none. First mission has a time requirement of 6 minutes and orb quota of 400. Now what makes this uniquely challenging is you're starting out with just Ebony and Ivory and you have no access to Devil Trigger. And you have to face enemies that will trigger, and thus your weapons have almost no effect on them. I can get the first 100 orbs for the quota off that godforsaken statue. It's just a real pain to make the jumps to get on it consistently. Now, it's believed we needed to farm 3 fetishes in order to get the orbs needed to meet the quota. Later, we were able to knock it down to 2. In this case, I was able to knock it down to 1. But in hindsight, I actually could have gotten away with none. But I had no way of knowing that at the time. Now, to get the most orbs out of a fetish, it's best to kill it off with a stylish rank, and the Force Edge makes that pretty easy. Basically, just high time it from the rear, and hit it with a million stab, finish it with a high time, and do that 2 or more times, and then throw whatever you want at it. But it's very important you do it from the back, because if you do it from the front, there's a good chance it's going to block one of your slashes, and it'll do its flame attack in retaliation, and you have almost no chance of avoiding it. With that out of the way, we'll move on to the basement. We'll see another technique here called slash canceling. Patient Placordos discovered this some time ago. Basically, when Dante slashes, there's some lag between when he finishes the slash and when he puts his sword away. And it was discovered that if you wiggle the control stick, Dante will put the sword away faster so you can start another combo. You can do that on either first, second, or fourth slash, and it can be used to devastating effect against Nail Angel, which was what it was originally intended for. But it's also used to devastating effect against the Marys in this basement and the Frost on Mission 7. The timing is really hard to get down, but once you do, you can even take out the 2 Bloody Marys in the opening wave without either one of them being able to draw their crescent blades. Of course, what makes the Bloody Mary so troublesome is that they can block your attacks. Now, in the basement fight, for the second wave, you can draw pretty much any combination of Marys, Shotgun Marys, and Bloody Marys. When they're triggered, your sword slashes and bullets do not phase them. So if you tried to hang out in front of one and keep slashing, it would jump on you and start ripping you apart. I'm not sure exactly how much defense they get by triggering, but I'm guessing about 8 times normal. Best thing you can do is just keep your distance from it and wear it down with your guns, or get the shotgun Mary to help you out, like so. Now with just a shotgun Mary, can just hit it with a 2/ Helmbreaker combo. It matches pretty well with their pistol whipping animation. It's just a matter of timing. And with that out of the way, we can move on to the airplane room. Basically, if you end up with more than one triggered Bloody Mary down there, odds of you getting out of there alive are pretty slim, let alone on time. Now against the Bloody Marys here, the best thing to do is just do as much damage as you can to them before they trigger, or if possible get out of there before they trigger. You have about 10 seconds after they wake up for them triggering. But in order for them to trigger, they have to be standing idle near Dante with their blades drawn. That's why those two were able to come at me and not trigger. And once they get close, jumping up on that platform puts you just out of range of whatever it is that causes them to trigger, allowing you to just pick them off from a distance. They're not entirely safe up there. The crescent blades can still hit you if they get lucky. And there's just a fetish to worry about. Pretty much, I can't afford to miss anything on this little barrage, because if something goes wrong and it gets loose, its time will pass and it will trigger, and killing a triggered fetish is not a fun prospect. And that's mission 1. It took us quite a long time to come up with a valid strategy for it, but we finally did, and it really paid off in the end. The first mission was intended to use as a stepping point to get a special bonus on every mission. I'm not going for special bonuses on every mission here, since the game's ranking system doesn't actually tally them, unlike what DMC3 does. Alright, here is the second segment, Mission 2, recorded December 8th, 2005. This mission has a generous time requirement of 7 minutes and an orb quota of 450. There's not a lot going on here in the beginning, so I thought I'd explain how I actually capture this. This is all recorded on my Linux machine, which is my main box. My PS2 has an AV cable with both S-video and composite outputs. S-video goes to the machine, composite goes to the TV. That way I can see what I'm doing in real time while I'm recording it, because if you try to watch it on the computer as you record it, you're going to run into some delay. I capture it in very high bitrate MPEG 2, and that leaves me with some very high quality masters I can scale down into other formats. And the audio is recorded with the optical cable. In this room up ahead, you can draw either synthesides or blades. It's much preferred you get synthesides, as they go down much easier than blades. If I were to try and pull it off with blades, I would have to focus on getting critical hits on them. And while it's certainly possible, it takes a lot longer. And if they don't bunch up the way I need them to, I could be in that room until the blades finally run out. Because the way this do or die thing works is it only expires when you eliminate all enemies on the screen at once. Now with synthesize, that's really easy. I just kill enough here to give me enough orbs to meet the requirement and go. No reason to hang around. With the synthesizers up ahead, this is another do or die, and just focus on getting critical hits on each of them. One thing that can really be a problem here is the way auto aim works on DMC1. Unlike 3, in which you can attack in any direction you want, in DMC1, Dante is locked into auto-aim, and auto-aim tends to be a little slow at switching targets. What would often go wrong is I would slash at a sternn scissors, and suddenly have to slash at another one. I run up to the second one and slash, only to turn around and slash at nothing, and then they get a free hit on me. And getting critical hits here is also worth more than a regular kill. It's generally worth like a little more than 50 orbs versus like about 30 for a normal kill. It's kind of a shame to have to do Mission 2 in its own segment, because Mission 1's a real pain. I'd hate to go through that and then blow Mission 2. But then Mission 3 is also a real pain in the butt, so I hate to have to keep going through this mission over and over again just to fail on 3. That's just how things work out. Alright, segment 3, mission 3, the Itsy Bitsy Spider. Recorded December 10th, 2005. This mission has a ridiculously tight time limit of 3 minutes and an orb quota of 550. The secret mission here is required to make up for the damage I take in the underwater arena. Otherwise it could have extended my time limit by 30 seconds or so. Because of that tight time limit and all the running around I had to do on this level, I basically only have 25 seconds to kill Phantom. This was a real problem doing it with a fresh Dante, but thankfully Patient Blacordos came to the rescue again and found a critical hit strategy for Phantom that can kill him in about as little as about 18 seconds, I believe, depending on how much DT you have. This little jump here shaved a couple seconds off. Now underwater I need to stay DT'd as much as possible to reduce the damage I take from the water. In DMD mode, DT does not regenerate your health, it only reduces the damage you take. Need to go at Phantom with a full gauge. Air hike is another requirement for this, along with Stinger 2. Stinger 2 is needed just so you can cross the level quickly enough. Air hike is essential for setting up the initial hit on Phantom. What you're going to do is, as soon as the cutscene is over, basically press to the right, jump, press to the left to cancel your momentum, and then start slashing, DTing just before the first hit goes down. It's a real problem to keep these hits coming because Phantom is constantly moving. The way this whole thing works out is every 2 hits you put on Phantom, he'll stagger, and after staggering he will always run forward, and since he's already facing the wall initially, this causes him to just keep running towards the wall and unable to get away from you. But if you end up missing any of those, there's a good chance he'll just turn around, shoot a fireball at you, and start running away from you, and you'll never kill him in time. It really takes a lot of practice to get your aim right on there, and the camera is definitely not helping you there, since it resets every time you get a critical hit. Now to get the critical hit on the sternn scissors, basically you just block the scissors with your sword, headshot. Run clockwise, and then shoot with whatever weapon you're carrying. Ebony and Ivory is actually the preferred weapon to use, because if you end up missing, you can still try throwing in a second shot, and you might get it. I don't have time to pick up the blue orb pieces here, because of the crazy time limit. And with all this out of the way, let's make for the exit as quickly as possible. So once mission 3 is out of the way, it's definitely it gets a lot easier. The better you do earlier in the game, the easier things become later on. We're back here with Mission 4, Mind Over Murder. Recorded December 21st, 2005. This mission has a time requirement of 4 minutes and an orb quota of 550. There are 3 secret missions to do in this one, and completing all 3 of them will give you enough ranking points to excuse the time requirement. Get into the first one here, which is Phantom Baby 1. It's pretty simple. You just run around at the beginning, squish as many phantom babies as you can, and then shoot the rest. You gotta do it quick because they scatter really quickly. This just strikes me as wrong on so many levels. Here you are gunning down these poor defenseless creatures that have done no wrong to you, and then laughing at their suffering. It's no wonder Phantom's so pissed off. They're blowing away his kids. Now we go back outside to get the 2 blue orb fragments we left behind in Mission 3, because we didn't have enough time to grab them. It's a good 50 orb cache right there. You gotta take a good amount of care in setting yourself up for these stingers, otherwise you'll just send yourself back into the underwater arena, and you don't want that. It's important to leave these 5 orb pieces behind, because when you come back here at night in Mission 16, they will have matured into 100 orb pieces. Now we move on to Hallway Phantom. It's good to have about 4 runes to start this out, so you can hit them as much as you can DT'd on the way down the hall. Basically just open up with air hiked helm breakers, timing yourself along with the fireballs. But you gotta jump away from him when he gets to the end of the hallway, otherwise there's a good chance he'll go into his rapid fire fireball attack, which is impossible to dodge. And once you get a distance away from him, just shoot him and high time his fireballs back to him. And that's over with. Go on to Phantom Baby 2. You can't use any weapons here, and just DT and run around a bunch. It works pretty well, but you gotta do it fast before they scatter. Mock them again to get your DT back. And we'll head on to the Death Scissors. In this hallway you can stinger twice without a problem, but if you do 3 and there's a shadow, there's a good chance the shadow might be starting closer to you and you'll end up stingering right into it, hurting yourself. Now, Death Scissors fight is kind of dodgy. It's hard to get him in just the right position so you can hit him with a helm breaker, because he will actually be able to block you even if you are triggered. Usually right in the beginning is a good time to get him. Now you can't touch him while he's corkscrewing, so the only thing you can do is get out of the way. Unfortunately, he'll always end up doing at least 1 corkscrew. Seems strange that he's vulnerable when he's holding his scissors up right in front of you in order to block it. Watch out for the falling ones when you kill him. Now we move on to Secret Mission 4, the 3 Beasts, which is arguably the hardest of all of them. And every time previous to this I've tried to come up with a reliable strategy for taking them out, and I've constantly failed. And recently I just got frustrated and figured I'd just stinger off the elevator and start shooting at the first thing I saw. ended up working out a lot better than I thought, since the first shadow here just opened up for me. When you're fighting shadows, you really can only fight one at a time, and once you turn it red, you need to stay away from it until it dies before you try and attack the other one. Because if you go after it, the red one will certainly grab you. In this case too, you gotta make sure you're listening off screen for that pinwheel that just came by, so they don't catch you by surprise. Then just shoot at another one till one of them reveals their core, and work from there. Odds are you won't be able to kill them all before one of them triggers. Thankfully, only one can be triggered at any time. And if you do end up with that, just go after the non-triggered one first, because if you kill the triggered one, the other one will trigger. You gotta make sure you stay a good distance away from it, otherwise the self-defense spikes will hit you. I got kind of lucky here, being able to take it out in 3 hits, which is about all you have time for. And basically just jump at 90-degree angles about to avoid the spikes. Sometimes if you're lucky you can just DT and run around and the spikes just won't be able to catch up to you. But that wasn't the case here. Now we move on to Nelo Angelo 1. A bit of trivia. Nelo Angelo was originally called Nero Angelo, or Angelo Nero, but was mistranslated and became Nelo Angelo. And depending on the way you speak, it's Nelo Angelo or Angelo Nero, which is supposed to mean in Italian black angel.
Hello! Hello!
Dad.
What? Hello!
Dad.
Hello!
Dad.
Hello!
Good. Now try the next one.
PlayStation!
Great.
Right.
Good.
But that's how it got translated, and that's just how it stuck. And we're going to use slash canceling against him here. Basically, you can, against Nelo Angelo 1, you can get as many as 18 consecutive hits at him before he will either block or teleport away. If you're hitting him from the front, he'll block. If you're hitting him from the rear, he'll teleport. Against the front, it's advisable to use DT'd / combos. The way I like to do it is do 4 / combos, giving you 16, and then jump away, which Jack helped find that that causes him usually to go into a meteor charge, which is easy to close the distance and start attacking him again. If he goes into a regular combo or something else, you have to let him finish whatever he's doing before you can start hitting him again, or else he will most certainly start blocking or teleport. There's kind of a shortcut of catching the blue orb fragment up here. You could either air hike over it from the parapet, air raid into it, or hike off of Nelo, hike in the air, and then grab it that way. Looks really cool when you do that, but it's a lot harder to pull off. Now this was the easy part, since he's open for you right off the bat, and then it gets kind of trickier. You also gotta watch out for that cheap shot he throws at you when you jump up. And 2 slash is the only way to get him from behind, because if you try using 4, you won't be able to cancel fast enough to start hitting him again. Also, I don't believe it's possible to cancel 4 slash combos without being DT'd from his front. I know it's possible in the PAL version, but I don't think the timings in NTSC will let you get away with that. Slash cancel is kind of hard to keep up when you're doing it for a long time, because your timing just starts to get a little off. But if you mess up, generally they'll give you another opening real quick. And finish them off with a high time between the legs. And that's going to do it for mission 4. Up next, we got a triple header of missions 5, 6, and 7. And hopefully I should have that ready for you soon. Stay tuned. Okay, and we're back for our triple header, missions 5, 6, and 7. It was recorded December 23rd, 2005. This segment was probably the hardest to make, simply because of all the things that can go wrong. Originally, what I'd do in mission 5 here is take the shadows out one at a time. But after some research, I was able to figure out how to get the shadows to reveal their cores within a really short time frame. Short enough that you can expose the first one, turn it red, and then expose the second one's core, turn it red, and get away before the first one can grab you without getting screwed over by auto. If you expose both cores at the same time, though, it's just not likely that you'll be able to turn them both red before one of them closes up. And don't need their orbs because we can fulfill the 100 orb quota by grabbing the 100 orb cache on that parapet. Time limit for this one is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Normally it's 2 minutes, but DMD gives you a 30-second extension. Skip the death side here. Now for mission 6, I had to make something of a compromise. Normally I'm loath to use items in my runs, so I feel they would cheapen the experience. But in the interest of time, sacrifices must be made. So I have to spring 4,100 orbs to pick up a holy water to use on the death scissors here. And using the holy water is going to cause me to forfeit any chance of getting a special bonus in this mission, so I'm not going in with the intention of getting one to begin with. So I missed the orb quote on here on purpose. And here we get one of our unique challenges, having to fight plasmas without Ifrit, which would easily rip them apart. The plasmas are the same element as Alaster, so it's pretty much useless against them. But the shotgun is still quite effective. It's good for sending them flying. Thing to do here is to take out the 2 humanoid plasmas before the bat takes a shot at you. You gotta make sure you kill the 2 humanoids one right after another so it doesn't have time to split. Here I got really lucky because the bat plasma just flew right up to me. Normally it'll just hang around, sometimes move away, sometimes even move into the ceiling, which makes it absolutely impossible to hit them. Quite infuriating. Now in this hallway here, normally I would just run away from these guys, but there's a risk that the bat plasma will use one of its attacks at close range, which you won't be able to avoid, or the humanoid plasma will stinger you in the back as you run down the hall from off camera. And since there's no audio cue for it, there's no way you'd be able to avoid it. It's kind of one of those things that if I'm going to cut down the number of segments here, I'll be able to take as many risks. Using the holy water here probably saves about a minute 15 since you don't have to wait for your DT to recharge. Now mission 7 here is a real bastard because DMC's ranking system has determined from the start whether or not you will be able to get a special bonus in mission 7. Jock and Ryan86 did some experimenting on this to prove that, and sometimes weren't even able to get the special bonus using Super Dante, which would really minimize the damage you take. and you cannot avoid taking damage from the guiding light. So sometimes you can get it, sometimes you can't. Unfortunately, in this case, I couldn't, and missed out on 2,000 points. Now this encounter with Phantom is the same as before. So try to work it out so you recharge your DT the moment you kill him, so you don't have to hang around and taunt or anything. And then go on and take a crack at another one of DMC's greatest challenges, fighting two Frosts with only a Laster, which almost does nothing to them. Basically, you just use DT 2/ cancels in order to keep them juggled so they can't hit you back. And right when you're about to take their arm off, you mix in High Time and Helmbreaker to take them out before they can do a regeneration cycle, which regenerates their arm and their health, wastes your time, and puts you in quite a bit of danger if you try to break them out of it. And pretty much taking one hit from them is about all you can handle with DT and still have a chance of getting out of here alive. And then, since I have 3 runes here, I can DT again as soon as I come through the door and take out the 2 mirrors. That shotgun mirror is a real bother too if you can't get the timing right. Well, I wasn't able to get the SB this time, maybe next time. Stay tuned for the intermission and missions 8 through 11. Oh, before I forget, the time requirement was 3 minutes and orb quota was 650. This is my first multi-mission segment that I've ever recorded. It took forever to get done, but I'm really happy with the way it came out. Okay, and here we are with the biggest segment, Intermission 1 plus missions 8 through 11. Recorded December 26th, 2005. During the intermission here, the game's timer is stopped. So anything that happens here won't be tallied in the end. But I didn't want to take more time than I had to. This time it came out with this secret mission was kind of average. It's one of my least favorites since it depends on the actions of something else rather than you. Basically, you just need to jump around a bunch and get the 2 Cyclops, Cycloppy, whatever. Get one Cyclops to kill the other with the rock shooting. Them jumping on each other does nothing, unfortunately. Also, you are forbidden from using your weapons at all. You can't even shoot at them to help you remain in the air. Any action you take towards them will invalidate your attempt, and you won't get the blue orb fragment. It's really kind of tricky here since you're trying to watch where Dante is going, plus watching what the 2 Cyclops are doing. You have to find a good jumping pattern to stay out of the way of the rocks and not get crushed by either of them. It's a battle of attrition. I had a strange thing happen in one of my attempts here. One Cyclops jumped on top of another that was near that grate and appeared behind the grate. I was able to shoot rocks at the grate, actually hit the Cyclops standing next to it, and then decided to jump. It jumped up, but it never landed. About 10 seconds later, I all of a sudden get a bunch of orbs from them. And unfortunately, I still failed the mission through no fault of my own. What really makes that secret mission a bastard too is because you're on DMD mode and the Cyclops is considered like a mini boss but without a life bar. It takes extra long to kill them. But with that out of the way, we can move on to Mission 8. Definitely one of the easier ones after what's come before it. You have a time limit of 3 minutes and an orb quota of 585. The quota is easy to meet just by grabbing all the loose orbs in the orb caches in this level. And for Phantom here, you can either kill him by taking down his life, or by getting him to break the glass of the ceiling below you, which below that is the Great Hall from Mission 1. Getting critical hits on Phantom is a little trickier here because the camera's kind of slow to follow Phantom, and you never really know where you are in relation to him. He moves along a lot too. Guess you just want to keep the hits coming. Don't give him a chance to do any of his nastier attacks like the lava pillars or the meteor rain. Neither of which you see here. There's no real pattern as to when or if he'll jump on the ceiling here. Just gotta play it by ear. And generally, if it takes you more than 90 seconds, it's too long. Then grab a fragment here. Move over to the edge and stinger back. Puts you on a lower level. Stingering in the edge again. Puts you over that horse and triggers the orb release. A little jump here gets you those other orbs, and that's 585. And here we come to the grenade launcher. It's called the grenade gun for some reason. Just a note here, the handgun, shotgun, and grenade launcher are all signature weapons of a Resident Evil game. The Devil May Cry was originally planned to be a Resident Evil game, but they didn't like the finished product, so they made it stand on its own. All you really have to do is just run straight to the front door and you'll get out before the portcullis closes on you. And don't want to forget that. That's Mission 8. I'm sure you probably noticed by now I'm playing the Japanese version of Devil May Cry. It's not really that different from the US or European version. The control scheme is different. Triangle is slash, square and circle are guns, and X is jump. It's basically kind of like DMC3's default configuration. I screwed up the vortex here. Mission 9's kind of weak for me, but it still came out pretty well considering these are really the two low parts of it. And we get our formal introduction to the blades, which are much easier to fight with a grenade gun than with a shotgun in Mission 2. Even with a grenade gun, they're still a real pain to deal with. They can still somehow get a hit on you even when you think you got them on the ropes. Grab this fragment here and then we can move on to grab the Ifrit gauntlets. And my aim in this vortex probably could have been a little better too, but it really doesn't cost me that much. Now for this little shortcut here, you basically trigger the release of the platforms and then skip like the first 4 or 5 platforms and then skip the last one to get straight to the gauntlets. It's kind of tricky though, you're making a blind jump in the process. If you have enough runes to activate air raid, it might help if you overshoot. Now normally there would be a death scissors fight here, but you can skip it by doing this little kick. We don't have time to play with Griffin. Thankfully, this is like aside from the 2 phantom hallways, this is the only actual optional boss fight. I had to stop there for a moment to taunt him, because if you run straight for the door, the torch you need to light will be covered with the lightning, and you will get hit a bunch trying to activate it. And this is just a simple battle. You kill everything that moves. It also would be the formal introduction of the fetish. Another difference between the US and European versions of DMC compared to the Japanese one, Meteor 2 isn't as powerful in the Japanese one. It only is about 80%, which is a factor when you're fighting Griffin. Aside from that, it's pretty much the same. I liked having the different control scheme for this one. Makes it easy to move back and forth between DMC 1 and 3 without getting totally confused. And so I'm only going for an S rank on this one. I'm going to skip the orb requirement, which was 1500. And you had 8 minutes to get through it. And even if you jump high enough, you can't just vortex over that gate. You gotta pay the toll. I found this, this is a used copy of Devil May Cry. I found it at a used goods store in Asahikawa, Japan, over in the Kyoto region. I was there for the summer, as part of a study abroad program. At the time, I never heard of Devil May Cry, nor did I even have a PS2, but that didn't stop me. And since the PS2 is region restricted, I have to play this using a flip-top PS2 with a copy of Swap Magic 3. Either that or try and import a Japanese PS2. Not worth the trouble. This little trick here is you push the fetish past that gate, and then the guiding light ball here will automatically let you go to the next area. I totally hate these blades here, because the way it opens up, half the time there's a good chance you're just going to get hit through no fault of your own, because the game won't let you move yet. Switch back to the handguns for shadows coming up. Now, normally if I'd killed a bunch of fetishes before, these other blades wouldn't have spawned. So nothing to worry about. Jumping as you pass through the gate skips the animation where you have to run through it. I tried that whole one core after another thing here, and it kind of worked, but not really that well. But still, you gotta play with the hand the shadows give you. Something too, if you're a certain distance away from the shadow, or if you're out of its view, like standing behind it, it won't take any aggressive action toward you unless you shoot it. And, it'll quickly give up and then just die. Might do a lance on you, but that's it. Now with Cyclops, here it's really tricky. I use a holy water here to soften them up, since I'm not going for an SB on this mission either. And then in this one, they actually really threw me for a loop, because they didn't do anything that I was expecting to do. I was expecting both of them to already be on top of me. That's why I'm waiting here, because I thought the other one was going to start jumping like normal. Once recharges me, easily take the other one out. Switch back to the grenade launcher. Mission 10. The requirements for this mission were 4 minutes 30 seconds and 600 orbs. After here, notice here the bonuses for an S go up, so buying stuff becomes a lot easier. Mission 11 isn't that bad if you know how to avoid the blades down below. This is the easiest secret mission to do as well. Fastest too. Basically what I'm doing here is jump forward, jump back, jump up, you're done. If you decide to whip out Vortex after grabbing that, it'll be raining scissors. It's better to kill the death scythe here right now while he's right in front of you. As soon as you get recharged, go down. Beginning, you can just vortex past these guys, break the wall, and get the hell out. And it's better to kill that death scythe beforehand, because otherwise getting through this little area can be tricky if you get caught in his attacks. Now I can still get a special bonus in this mission using a holy water because of the ranking bonus the secret mission gave me. I'll need to collect their orbs too to make the quota for this one. Killing them all also yields you the blue orb fragment. Now we move on to Nayla 2 after we grab this piece here. My preferred weapon for fighting Nayla is the Ifrit gauntlets rather than the Alaster, since they can do way more damage than the Alaster can. My basic combo for him is a grenade, a charged punch, uncharged punch, an uncharged kick, and then doing a kick 13 in DT, which is referred to as an auto 13. You fire a grenade after finishing the auto 13, you can get that in. If you follow up with a punch, Nayla will always block, and if you can charge up a second charged punch, you'll break his block and he'll be prone. And you can hit him with something else, preferably an Inferno, to which he will always counter with a // combo. And if you still have enough DT, you can go ahead and hit with another Inferno when he's done with his slashing. Nayla is really hard to predict, because he'll pretty much just do whatever he wants, and you have to react to what he's doing. Best thing to do is just come at him from behind. There's almost no chance of him getting you there. Notice I cancel DT halfway through the auto 13, which actually helps you rebuild some DT. Because if you stay DT'd while you do the auto 13, it'll drain your DT even more. That can usually keep you at least around 3 runes, which you really need for the third fight. That's it for this segment. Even though this one was longer, it was not as hard as the one that came before it. Oh, And this mission had a time requirement of 5 minutes 30 seconds and an orb quota of 1,000. Alright, we're back with missions 12 to 14, segment number 7. Recorded December 28th, 2005. This segment is a real problem, especially with this instruction screen that pops up for a second after I clear the intro screen. Sometimes the game would not let that screen go away. I'd be just banging on the buttons, but it won't clear. And sometimes the only way to get out of that would be to turn on the turbos really quick, cancel the screen, and then turn off turbos really quick before anyone notices. This mission has a time requirement of 4 minutes and an orb quota of 700. 700 is not a problem since you'll easily meet that with the orbs you get from Griffin and the 2 Frosts. But the 4-minute time limit is a problem, so you can't fiddle around. Need to switch to the guns and to the Ifrit gauntlets. Prepare to be boarded. Just go right for the Frosts. My favorite way to take them out is to drop an Inferno at point blank and go into a kick 13, or an auto 13. Kind of missed on this one, but still killed it in short order. Grab the needle gun and head up to the weather deck. Now, get the orb fragment in this mission rather than waiting for the next one, because I'd sometimes screw this one up, and I'd hate to actually beat Griffin and then screw this up and have to redo the segment. Some really good use of stinger jumping to clear these quickly. Now I take out Death Scythe. Standing right by the door is a perfect way to get him right as he comes out. Now I pretty much have to kill him right away, because if he gets away, I'm going to waste a lot of time chasing him down. And now we go on the account. Now, Griffin is a particular bastard in this fight, because it's rather difficult to hit him with anything if he's in the air. Time it just right, you can catch him with a meteor before he sends the black spot at you. And if you can time it just right, you might get a double hit with meteor too. It's important you don't shoot Griffin in the beginning, because otherwise he might just fly around and never land on the deck. When he does land, get up the mizzenmast and let loose on him. If you can really get all your shots in, you could take about as much as half of his health in one volley. If you get right back on the poop deck when he takes off, he'll land right back on it. Notice you got to move in the direction he's facing, or else half your shots are going to miss and you're going to waste some of your time. Keep it up, and you'll have him walking the plank till he's shaking hands with David Jones. Say goodbye to Griffin, and that's it for Mission 12. That's really that's the hard part. 13 and 14 are really easy. 14 you can actually get through without using your weapons at all if you do it right. Well, in normal mode anyway. Grab the Staff of Hermes, and the ship realizes it was never seaworthy. Time limit for this mission is 2 minutes 30 seconds and 200 orbs. Now, the thing with the needle gun is you can actually fire it faster by tapping square rather than actually letting it shoot for itself. And if you can do it like that, you can kill both these blades before either one of them can get a second volley at you. And for some reason, you cannot hit a blade with your needle gun while it is shooting at you. Now we gotta head down to the hold to pick up a 100 orb piece and get the blue orb fragment. And because of the orbs we already have, we don't need to bother fighting any of the blades down here. And once we get down here, just take out the 2 blades, grab the orbs, hit the exit, and you're done. And that's 13 right there. And now we move on to the second intermission, which, just like the first one, the game's clock is not running. And the secret mission can only be done during the intermission. Once you start 14, it goes away. And just ignore everything here, since there's no reason to collect their orbs or risk getting hurt trying. Talk to the captain to enter the mission. You gotta kill all 8 blades as fast as you can. Now what I'm doing here is holding R1, tapping back on X while tapping on square as fast as I can. Doing this is pretty much the best way of avoiding getting swarmed by them right off the bat. And you gotta pay close attention to what the blades around you are doing so that you don't fly right into their claws or swim right into them. And you still gotta deal with that weird shooting invulnerability they have, which unfortunately resets your combo meter. The blades don't really actually seem to get any gain any more vitality by being triggered. Their attacks just do more damage, unlike the marionettes and the fetishes. Nothing else really seems to benefit from getting triggered, aside from the shadows having their self-defense spikes always active. Once you kill the last blade, you automatically get the orb and you complete the mission. Now there's something I wanted to get into here. Before we had started recording our own footage, back when we were just on GameFAQs, we came across a couple runs that were filmed by a Japanese player named Zeno. And he had done a normal speed run and a DMD run. For his DMD run, he did a from-scratch LDK with only 3 DT runes the entire game, only purchased Stinger level 1 and Air Raid, and got S ranks on every mission with no damage and using no items. We were all pretty impressed by it and figured we'd take a crack at it ourselves. Unfortunately, we never found a way to contact Zeno. We wondered what he'd think of the stuff we're doing now. Now, this mission has time requirement of 5 minutes and orb quota of 500. Critical hits on all the Sin Scissors will just about get you there, and then you have to pick up a couple loose orbs. And that's it. Getting critical hits against Sin Scissors is easier with Ebony and Ivory, since you only need to Tap them once, move to their side, and one bullet's all you need. Rather than risking sending the stern scissors flying with the shotgun. And Dante won't target the stern scissors if they're inside the wall. So I gotta hold it and walk down the hallway until he locks on. And again, it doesn't matter if the stern scissors is triggered or not. Critical hit will instantly kill it. It's one thing I really wish DMC3 had. Again, you don't have to wait for them to attack. You can just go straight for their scissors. And I slow down to a walk here because I want each and every one of them to come by before I get to the end. Because you do not want to try and fight them while this floor is moving around. And thankfully they generally just come at you one at a time. You also want to be careful if you try stingering down that hallway because you could send yourself flying right into that wall of spikes. And when using Vortex, Dante is invulnerable, so it makes it really easy to get past this spiked floor quickly and with no damage. Now, out on this cliff face, which feels like a ripoff of Death Mountain from Legend of Zelda, you can get either blades or shadows. Much better if you get blades, because the shadow will often be blocking that entryway right there. You don't need to hit the orb fountain because we already have enough. I don't know how that rock missed me, but it did, and I'm not going to argue it. And it's your standard death scythe fight. You don't have enough to DT off the hand, you wait for him to make the first move. Important you bust the logs here to make sure you get the extra orbs you're gonna need. Grab the 20 from here. And that's it. And this is one of the probably easiest missions to get a special bonus on, since avoiding damage is pretty easy. Just don't get careless. Okay, here we are with segment number 8, mission 15, recorded January 1st, 2006. Got a time limit of 10 minutes and an orb quota of 1400. This is another one of those missions where I have to compromise in my ethics of item usage. I should explain here how I'm able to get a special bonus even though I used items here. A DMC's ranking system works like this. For each mission, there are a total of 15 ranking points you can get. 5 from each category: time, orbs, and damage. Meeting the requirement in full will give you the full 5 points for that category. If you can get all 15 points, you get a special bonus. You get 10 or more points, you get an S rank. 8 or more points gives you an A rank. 5 or more points gets you a B rank. Less than 5 points gets you a C. And less than 0 gives you a D. Now using items will take away points. Using a double star or a holy water will take away 1 point. Vital star or a yellow orb will take away 3 points, and an untouchable takes away 5. Now this secret mission is worth 2 points, so I can use 2 holy waters and balance the whole thing out. This is one of my little pet peeves coming up, where you got an enemy that's about to attack you and all you can do is just stare at the cutscene. Now with this item usage animation here is invincible, so I don't take damage from either the pinwheel or from the floor spike. Now I have to agitate this shadow here, because if I don't, it will be the first to die instead of the last. And the last shadow to die is the one that gives you the blue orb fragment. And so if that one dies first, the last one will die will be the one that's out on the spiked floor, which means you would have to run out there and go get it, which it's not worth the time or the trouble. That out of the way, move on to the mission proper. So if I was able to defeat those 3 shadows without using an item, I could get kind of a ranking allowance. I could come in 30 seconds late, I could take a little bit of damage, or miss the orb quota a little. But since I did this, it means I can't miss anything here. Again, just ignore everything here since the orb quota is absolutely no problem. Out here you can draw either blades or Cyclops. Just running through here DT will keep you ahead of them. Now I choose not to pick up the Nightmare Beta on this mission because it's really not worth the trouble of going through the Death Scythe in this area. The way it works, the Nightmare Beta will show up at the other location. So if I went in here first, the Twin Lances would be here, and then the Nightmare Beta would be at the other side. It's much easier just to pick up the Nightmare Beta on Mission 19. Now, weird thing here, just running through here DT'd will let you get through unscathed. Kind of weird. I found a quicker way of getting through this room is to activate the 2 dials using Vortex instead of slashing at them. Doing it this way makes it possible to get out of that pit before the shadow triggers. Normally I wouldn't be able to get out of there in time. I can't jump down though while it's doing the floor spikes, otherwise I will get hit. And I have to jump down and trigger the orb fragment release before I grab the lances, or else those panels will go back up and there's no way up there without hitting the dials again. Thanks to Vortex, I was able to get out of there just as the shadow triggered. This out of the way, I just need to recharge DT and we can move on to the Coliseum. Or I can move on to the Coliseum. You're not going anywhere. It's interesting how quickly it gets dark on this island. It was just late afternoon about a minute ago. really a good idea to pick up this orc fragment before fighting Griffin. Because as soon as you go up here fighting Griffin, he will start using the lightning curtains on you, and you have almost no chance of avoiding them. Coming up, we'll see the Meteor 2 double hit on Griffin. It's all a matter of timing. Now, in the Japanese version, since Meteor 2 is a little bit weaker, it isn't able to send Griffin straight into the sky. Had to throw a couple grenades at him. Now that wind attack he used on me, it just knocks Dante back. It actually doesn't damage him. Now my strategy for fighting Griffin 3 here is just to drop Infernos on him constantly. It causes him to go down quite quickly. And the way I try to do it here is keep him backed into a corner so he has nowhere to go. And staying close to him too causes him to trigger what I call a panic attack. He'll immediately abort his attack and try V-lightning on you. It's important to try and keep the DT up. There are some hit anomalies with his lightning. I'm not sure why that one didn't hit me. I'm not arguing. Sometimes he can be really tricky to hit with the Inferno since he decides to jump around a lot. Now for the first couple seconds after he goes down, you can't hit him with anything, so the best thing you can do is taunt. This battle, he was particularly feisty, so it was really hard to get the Infernos on him. Again, the wind attack doesn't damage you. This attack is really easy to avoid if you just wait to the very last moment to roll out of the way of the lightning. And before you know it, Griffin will be turkey burgers. Switch back to Alaster, pick up the orbs, claim your prize. Oops. That does it for Mission 15. The alternate strategy for fighting Griffin would be to fight him at a distance using grenade rolling and using the invincibility frames from the roll to get through his lightning unscathed. I found that to be a real problem, and so I came up with this strategy of just getting in his face the whole time. Surprised how well it worked. Okay, segment 9, mission 16, recorded January 2nd, 2006. A 6-minute time limit and 1,000 orb quota. The time limit can be extended by performing both secret missions. According to Adrenaline SL's guide, the Stairway of Tranquility is worth 1 ranking point, and Shadows in the Dark is worth 2. I'm wondering if Shadows in the Dark is actually worth 3, or if the 2 secret missions combine into something more. 1 plus 2 being equal to 4. Stairway of Tranquility is pretty straightforward, except in DMD mode where the Sargassos can actually come after you. This can really be unfortunate for you because sometimes you can get all the way up to grab the blue orb piece only to have one of them followed you all the way up and then bite your ass just as you grab the orb piece. Thankfully it only happens like about a third of the time, and half the time there you can get out of it by slashing really quickly. Now just get into the castle as quickly as you can. Don't have to worry about running out of DT. Get more later. Now the main showcase of this mission is, of course, Nightmare, which has to be one of the most complex bosses I've ever seen. It's got about 10 different ways of attacking you, and there's a variety of different strategies you can use against him, all of them effective. But the most effective one we've come across is the one Jock found, which was jumping on top of Nightmare and pummeling the cores with charged punches and kicks, which do very little to crack them. The way the cores work is if the top core is blue and he's doing an ice beam, it'll be really short and he takes normal damage. If the core is green, he does a longer ice beam and takes the same amount of damage. If the core is red, it does an insanely long ice beam and takes like half damage. So it's best to get the top core to green as soon as possible, but don't let it turn red in the second fight or the third. Now in this hallway you can get either fetishes or a shadow. I much prefer fetishes as they're worth a lot more orbs. Now the way to get the do or die to clear is to kill everything on the screen before any new fetishes can spawn in. If you kill the original group and another one manages to spawn in, you'll have to track them all down, get them together, and then kill them all at once. Even if the timer runs out, the doors don't necessarily open. You may have to do a lot of killing and waste a lot of time before the doors will let you through. Now with Nightmare 1, my weapon choice is Ebony and Ivory, which helps turn the top core green faster. It's also good for fighting off the machine gun spheres. Now the gun spheres can be disabled, they can't be destroyed. Disabling them gives you about a rune of DT back. So really careful how you do this jump so you don't actually end up on the other side of Nightmare or right in front of the ice beam. Now for some reason, against that dial and the one opposite it, my first punch will always miss. I'm not sure why. Now, as for the rear core, it doesn't really matter if it's blue or green, just as long as it's not red either. You definitely don't want to get grabbed and forced to fight Shadow Phantom. That's really a waste of time the way I'm set right now. Sometimes I can turn the orb green just as soon as it comes out on the second. If you can do that, then it will immediately begin acting like a green core in the ice beam if you want. This is also a place where Rolling Blaze comes in very handy for deflecting the side spike. Now with a green attack, I do a different way of attacking than normal. I only hold triangle down until Dante is releasing his attack and not after. This lets you press it again faster and start charging up your next attack a little quicker, which gives you a few extra shreds of seconds and ultimately allows you to get in an extra attack. Nightmare out of the way, we move on to Shadows in the Dark. That's important. I have to listen for what's in the hall so I don't end up running right into a shadow. Now this secret mission really has to be done carefully because you're fighting in confined spaces here against shadows, and that's really a bad place to fight them. Now the shadows here will only activate if you do some kind of hostile action against them. The camera here totally screws up. It's kind of dizzying. I wasn't able to stay out of the shadow's view, so do the mad jumping to stay out of its way. The odds are the second shadow will trigger the moment you activate it. Best thing to do is just wait for an opening. Charging up guns beforehand helps you save a little bit of DT. After turning the second one red, just jump up top and ride out the storm. Important to keep moving back and forth because sometimes the shadow will use its floor spikes. That can really ruin your day. If you line up a stinger just right here, get a cool looking jump up into this caged off area. This is really my least favorite place to fight a shadow, with all the pillars in the way. Miraculously, I was able to get it to explode its core and get a stinger in before I ran out of DT. And the reason I did that last slash that was deflected was to make sure that the shadow's core had turned red. Because if it has, then it will deflect your attack. Since I have some extra time, I'll taunt the shadow to get a little free DT. Usually best is to fire one bullet at it and see how it reacts. Do is avoid it and keep an eye on where it is, because you don't have a lot of room to move, so you need to figure out very quickly where you need to be in order to get away from the explosion. With that out of the way, switch back to grenade launcher. Lucky again, I can draw a second group of fetishes to make it really easy to rebuild my DT before going to the bridge. And with all the orbs farmed from all these fetishes, plus the orb cache I got here, plus Nightmare's orbs, I easily have the 1,000 I need. Only need to pick up that one 100 orb piece. I can save the other ones for the later missions. Now, when I mentioned ranking points earlier, coming in greater than 2 minutes late but less than 5 minutes gives you only one ranking point. So apparently I'm getting 4 points that would allow me to get the special bonus. Alright, segment 10, mission 17. Recorded on the 2nd as well. Got a time limit of 7 minutes and an orb quota of 600. Both are pretty easy to meet. The secret mission here, blue orb in the sky, is worth 2 ranking points, but didn't really see any need to use items on this mission. Secret mission is simple enough. Just get as high as you can and grab the blue orb piece. Usually a good idea to pick up one of those 100 orb pieces left behind. Figure since I'm going to be air raiding, I might as well give as much grief as I can to the death side. Hitting it like that wears it down and keeps it chasing you. by then, it's so weak that one little hit will kill it. And you get a free DT recharge. As well as some orbs. Now the reason I fight these two fetishes here in the tower is to make sure I'm going to have enough orbs to cover myself if I can't make up for it in the hallway. It's also a good way to rack up a couple stylish kills. Now another thing coming up here with the Frost is a little caveat with Meteor 2, since it's weaker in the Japanese version, it's not enough to kill the Frost outright as it would be in the US version. So I need to throw in an Inferno to finish him off. And just keep the third Frost juggled until the fourth one comes out, drop an Inferno, and then do an auto 13 on the fourth Frost. Normally I could just fire one meteor, kill two Frosts, and then pick off each other one as it spawns. Now in this hallway you can get either nobodies or fetishes. Don't really prefer one much over the other. Definitely get a lot more orbs with fetishes, but you gotta make sure you clear them both, or clear all of them at the same time. Now with nobodies, there'll only be two of them, and they'll start right next to each other, so it's pretty easy to take them both out before another one spawns. But you can't wait for their orbs to drop, otherwise, as soon as their orbs drop, two more nobodies will spawn, and they'll get in your way. It's only a matter of timing for this dragon here. And thankfully I don't get kicked out of the gallery for destroying the exhibit. If I did get myself stuck in that hallway, probably could have just used a holy water to wipe out any fetishes that were in the hall. But those things are expensive, so I'd rather hold on to them. Some air hiking, bypass the platforms to get the Quicksilver, also known as rich, tasty mercury. I prefer getting fetishes in the hallway the second time because it's a pretty easy way to recharge DT. And also the nobodies have a DT draining maneuver, which is really annoying because you really don't want to go up against Nalo Angelo 3 with anything less than a full gauge. And now it's time to drop a train on Nalo Angelo 3. First thing I do is I fake him out into doing his 4-hit combo. Punch, punch, kick, auto 13 canceled, grenade, punch, charge punch, DT, DT grenade, Inferno, DT grenade, jump away. It's important to time the grenades right when jumping away from Nalo, otherwise he'll actually slash the grenades out of the air. And this whole barrage here took away almost half of his health. In normal mode, he would have already been dead by now. It's important to keep at least 3 runes available so you can DT and throw a quick meteor so you can interrupt Nalo from doing his Phantom Sword attack, which is extremely dangerous. It's probably the most frantic fight in the game because I'm constantly trying to figure out what Nalo is doing next and then reacting appropriately. Invincible Frame saved me from getting slashed back there. And with his sweeper, you basically just need to be on his right side and he'll completely miss you. never let your guard down with this guy. Trust me, it's harder than it looks. And it's strange too, every time I look at his face, I don't see Virgil, I see Wesker. I think Capcom was hurting for a face model for Nayla, and they just reused Wesker's model. Alright, segment 11, missions 18 and 19. Recorded January 4th, 2006. This was the last mission I could really afford to do a multi-mission segment on. Everything else just gets too hard, too tricky. This mission has a time requirement of 6 minutes and an orb quota of 900. But if you've already watched it, you know that I was able to get a special bonus with less than 900. It seems at mission 18, you're given something of a ranking allowance. Here I was able to come up with only 80% of the orb quota, which gives you 3 ranking points for the orb category. Apparently you only get this once, because if you use this allowance here, the ranking system becomes totally strict from here on out. So to meet that 80% without fighting Shadow Griffin, I have to do a little extra hunting, but overall it saves time. Against the Sin Scissors, I just fire one shot from the needle gun, get a little closer, and then let loose on it. What you can also do is hit it once with the needle gun and then swim right up in its face and then shoot it. If they ain't lucky, you'll get a critical hit and kill it instantly. Problem is, underwater, there's a good chance the scissors will hit you when it dies. Also, an annoying thing about this mission, you are forced to equip the Sparta sword right at the beginning, and since it doesn't have a DT gauge like the Force Edge, it resets your DT gauge to 0, which means you have to rebuild it before fighting Nightmare. Now with Nightmare here, I've already turned the top core green, and I can't afford it turning red. If I tried to use the 6-hit combos on it, it would definitely turn red before the end of the fight. So what I did is mixed in a Meteor 2 at the end of the 4-hit combo. Now Meteor 2 will never crack a core, so it's a safe thing to use against it. I was really cutting it close fighting like this, because if I had even touched the core with a rolling blaze at the end, I would have turned it red. It's important I don't let my DT run out while I'm doing the Meteor 2, otherwise the damage of the Meteor 2 drops to about half. I almost ran right into the gunfire. The camera kind of threw me for a loop. Now, fighting Nightmare with the grenade gun is pretty effective for building DT, but you really have to be quick with your rolling, otherwise the gun spheres will hit you before you can roll out of the way. Now I can't run behind Nightmare when he's going to do an ice beam, otherwise he'll switch to a rear attack, and I won't have much of an opportunity to attack him, and I'll probably get damaged in the attempt. Now against the ice slugs, basically all you have to do is, before they grab onto you, start running towards them and past them, they'll immediately flip over and die or explode or whatever it is they do. Now at the end here, I'll have to finish them off with 3 meteors because that's all I can afford to do. So I have to throw in a few grenades here and there. Against this boomerang, you can parry it with Rolling Blaze, a Rising High Time, or a Helmbreaker if you time it right. And then Nightmare is just completely prone to whatever you want to throw at him. After he's dead, just saunter on over to the fireplace and collect your elixir. Or I should really say it. I don't think it's alive or anything. Just a machine. Not fighting Shadow Griffin here probably saves me about 45 seconds, which, considering the time limit for this mission, is makes things really tight. Now, this mission's got a time requirement of 3 minutes 30 seconds and a quota of 500 orbs. You have to move quickly to stay within the time limit, but it's not that big a deal. And thanks to the orb pieces I have left on the bridge, meeting the orb quota won't be a problem. And then we pass through the mirror to collect the Nightmare Beta. I was never really a big fan of the Nightmare Beta. I always thought DT was better used in hand-to-hand combat rather than on a gun. Now this little trick here is you drop down just a little bit and jump back up, triggers the blue orb fragment to be released in this tower. Interesting note, holding the jump button and walking up to a ledge and then letting go will cause Dante to just jump off the ledge. It's nice if you need to make a controlled drop. And that's it for the orb fragments. Now I have to fight the nobodies. Best way to fight them here is to just get them all bunched up, and then as soon as you got them all together, DT and kill them quickly. As soon as the first one dies, cancel DT so you can rebuild your gauge before they're all dead. Getting a stylish on them will also help you in the amount of orbs you get. Out of the way, take a little shortcut back to the door. Go back through the mirror and get back to the cathedral. Interesting how his DT just lights up the whole place. Old-time kick will throw you right on this receptacle. And that's it for 19. Now, from looking back on it, yeah, I could have gotten through here without the 3 100 orb pieces, but there was no way of knowing that for sure. Okay, segment 12, mission 20, recorded January 7, 2006. A time limit of 4.5 minutes and orb quota of 700. Since I used up my little ranking allowance on mission 18, I don't have any leniency here. I have to get the 700 orbs. Now, to get it, I'll have to kill both Frosts here and fight Shadow Nalo Angelo. Which actually works out to my advantage anyway, since fighting him at just the right time will take Nightmare down to just a sliver of health, putting you in a good position to start the final core. Now, keeping my DT up is really important here because of the 2 attacks in a row I've got coming up ahead. I'm not worried about turning the core red, so I just let loose on it. Yeah, it's important I don't try and jump up too early, otherwise I will get hit by one of those core rays and sent flying. Now here I hit the dial 4 times. Doing that will cause Nightmare to do 2 attacks in a row, since the dial will last just long enough for it to start up an Ice Beam. Problem is, though, doing that will also trigger the slugs to start shooting out. They only do an itty bit of damage, but not enough to cost you a special bonus. Even standing up there, I can still get hit. It's kind of a matter of chance. And grab as much DT as I can before I go inside. Now this trick coming up ahead is a semi-reliable way of keeping Nalo Angelo in a prone state. Problem is sometimes one of the magma drives will not stun him, and he'll just do another attack at point blank range, which you'll have a pretty hard time dodging. It's just a DT grenade, charged punch, and uncharged magma drive, which is about one of the only real uses for magma drive. The only other one being a fully charged magma drive sending a fetish up into the air and then taking it out with a fully charged punch when it lands. I'll need to switch back to Ebony and Ivory for the final core, as well as with the Laster. Now this time I'm gonna actually trigger the Sparrow attack. There's a million different names for that attack. I just like to call it the Sparrows because that's for some reason what it reminds me of. And the Vortex do all the work from here out. Now Vortex does most of its damage in the initial second of you using it. Anything after that, it's really not doing that much. But when I'm vortexing and I hit the core, I have to hold down triangle, or else Dante will stop right in the in front of the core and get hit by the next ray that comes out. When I start running out, and just move to the edge of the arena until I have enough DT to start up another good vortex. Yeah, it really happens fast, but it took a lot of work to get this right. Many failures. And if even one of those core rays hits me, I'm just going to be stuck against the wall and it's just going to hit me over and over again until I'm dead. Alright, segment 13, mission 21. Recorded January 7th, 2006. Got a time limit of 5 minutes and orb quota of 700. But the secret mission here seems to excuse the time. Now this one has a nice shortcut in it, as opposed to my previous run, where I'm able to skip the frost and the dragon in the secret mission. By stingering before the sequence starts, I can get a little ground before I lose control. I don't know if it's just me, but that face that flashes up on the right seems to bear an awful resemblance to Teller of Penn and Teller. Final secret mission. You get the time bangle, which by this point in the game is pretty much useless. That's the final full orb piece. Now this method here of juggling the nobody is a good way to guarantee yourself a stylish, build your DT, and get quite a bit of orbs. Unfortunately, you have to wait for it to finish exploding before you can move on to the next area. Another thing too, if you stinger it from behind while it's trying to turn around, it basically cancels the turning animation and puts it back the way it was. You look close at these things, you realize just how goddamn ugly they are. Capcom put quite a bit of detail into them. Fighting this way also lets me DT between fights to quickly get from one area to the other. Now, high times don't do as much damage as stingers, so if it's nearby I'll do a high time. If it's starting to move away from me, I'll do a stinger. Now with the dragon here, auto aim can sometimes work to your advantage. Dante can't directly control what direction the vortex is in. It will only vortex toward the nearest enemy. So if you can put the enemy above Dante and trigger vortex, he'll start vortexing toward the enemy, and if you hold down triangle, he'll just keep going until he can't go any further. This allows you to just pass right through the dragon. If you can, just slip through that crack and just avoid the frosts. Quite a time saver and trouble saver. The vortex is a good way of getting past the tentacles without having to stop to shoot them. And the imagery this generates is kind of unpleasant to some people, I suppose. Holding R1 here will prevent the whatever the hell it is from coming up from below and biting you. Now what happened here was auto aim hadn't yet kicked in, so Stinger or Dante could not lock onto the enemy, and so he just stingered right through him. This is pretty much the best way I've found for immobilizing the nobodies while you pound them. At least when they're alone. If they're together, you can basically just grenade the whole group and they'll always feel it. But if you try to attack them from the front, or grenade them over and over again when they're single, odds are you're going to miss and nobody will immediately seize that opportunity to hit you. They're just about as dangerous as the frosts when you're going head to head with them. Now, since I'm not Gonna need a special bonus for this mission. Figure just get this holy water out of my inventory. Really simplifies things. Thanks to air hike, after this pillar I can just skip the others. And then light up this one last dial. Make sure to switch to the shotgun before starting mission 22, because I really don't want to be doing that over and over again. And that's going to do it for mission 21. Up next is a new and improved mission 22. I'd decided to take another crack at it and was able to get a much better time on it than previously. Knocked off more than a minute. Alright, segment 14, mission 22. Recorded August 19th, 2006. Got just a time limit of 8 minutes to work with. Normally, time limit is 5 minutes, but in DMD they extended it to 8. Now this one's a real pain. It's the real climax too. So many things to get right and so much that can go wrong. A lot of randomness involved too. In the beginning, Mundus usually will open up with either one of these laser attacks or a meteor. If he doesn't do it on the first, he'll almost always do it on the second. And from there on out, he can throw just about anything he wants at you. The thing you're going to see coming up here is the DT Dragon double hit, which on an odd run can only be done if you have full 10 runes available. Otherwise it won't count as a double hit. And you can do it either when he's about to summon the gun spheres, or when he's about to vortex away. The vortexing is triggered by how much damage you've done to him. Being able to do either at any time is a good way just to let you do as much damage as you can without having to hold back. Now for the turbo shooting here, when I'm moving about normally I just press the square as fast as I can. But if I can sit still, I will start, I basically start shaking the controller in my right hand while holding square. It lets me shoot a lot faster, but it really wears me out. And I can't move Dante around while I'm doing that. And, on the even numbered runs, you can get a double hit by sending the dragon when you are directly below him at close range. Now for the hard part. The ground battle, standard attack, it's a fully charged round trip and a fully charged meteor. The shotgun is really useful here for getting rid of the gun spheres. Mundus' attacks here are also going to be almost entirely random. The only regular thing about him is when he pulls in the big spheres to lob them at you. That attack there is a rarity. I almost didn't see it coming. He only does that one every maybe 10 times. Usually about every minute or so he'll throw the fireballs at you. time your slash is just right, you'll send all of them right back to him. There's a different timing for each number of spheres he throws at you, but I've yet to be able to send 4 of them back at him. Slashing one of those spheres will give you 3 runes back, which is really nice. A round trip while double taunting is also a good way to build DT. Now you can't fire your guns on the ground while triggered, but you can still charge them up. And that's really good for getting rid of the 6 gun spheres in a row. It's really important you don't have anything in front of you when Mundus sends those spheres out at you. And if you cancel DT, the window for knocking the spheres back becomes much smaller, but when they hit, you get a lot of DT back. Usually enough to fill up your whole gauge. Now this meteor shower thing, Mundus will do when he's down to his last third of health. And unfortunately, he can actually just keep spamming them in sequence. I've had him do 6 of them in one fight, 4 of them in a row. And at that point, it gets really hard to avoid them all. And it's mostly a defensive fight. You can only really attack Mundus when you've got an opening. And the reason this one came out so much faster than before was he didn't use a lot of the attacks that kept me too busy with defense. Instead, let me do some offense. Alright, this is it. The big finale. Segment 15, Mission 23. Recorded August 19th, 2006. This mission's got a time limit of 7 minutes and orb quota is 600. But I'm only going for an S rank here, so don't have to worry about the orb quota. But if you're going for a special bonus here, the 600 orbs can be kind of hard to come up with. And in true Resident Evil fashion, this game also ends with a countdown timer. But you look around here too, it's this underworld looks more like the inside of some huge creature or whatever. I imagine it had something to do with the Resident Evil prototype this was. This little shotgun trick here lets me wear down the nobody's just to the point where holy water is enough to take them out. After that, it's just a frost and a shadow. I've had a couple people ask me if I'm ever going to do a DMC 3 run. Now that it's out for the PC, or going to be coming out real soon, I just might try something. Nothing definite yet, though. As for DMC 1, I would like to try this again, a single segment DMD run, non 100%. Could try 100% later, but that would be just nuts. Now, from here on out, I need to keep my DT gauge as high as I can, so I can take out Mundus 3 in just one barrage of Vortex. Because if I can't take him out in one barrage, he'll go into this whole little animation that you can't hit him and kind of waste time. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get out of the Shadow's view in time. Thankfully, it dying just gave me just enough DT to do the job. Makes you wonder too where Dante was trying to go. I mean, can't go out the way he came in, and there's no other way off the island that we've seen. Guess it's just convenient that that plane showed up. Again, it's better to just keep hitting triangle rapidly rather than trying to hold down Vortex. And just send one charged shot from guns that refills your gauge, trigger, and fire one more shot. And now for the airplane sequence, the best way we found to get out of it was just hold down the trigger the whole time. There's only 2 spots where you actually have to move. For the big pillar up ahead, and then for the stalagmites at the end of this next group. Just hug the bottom of the screen, and it's all smooth sailing. It's all over. Well, I hope you folks had as good a time watching this as I did making it. And with any luck, I'll be back at this again for maybe another run or 2. Okay, it's time for me to get out of here. So, this is your announcer, signing off.